Yeah, so we got, even though we're not doing Steven yet, we haven't watched the French leaks yet.
No. No leaks for us.
But by we, I mean Nina and I. Tooch is his own goddamn man. He can do what he wants. He did. He watched.
I very much did. Y'all are gonna love it. You're gonna lose your goddamn minds.
Yeah.
I don't like leaks.
Yeah, I like to wait, but, you know.
So instead, we're going to talk about some Adventure Times and some Clarences as well, because Clarence has been knocking it out of the fucking park lately. Like,
Clarence is so good, and I feel like because it's a such more simpler show with a simpler theme of like, oh, kids in school being kids, that it's not catching that zeitgeist that it definitely deserves.
Yeah, because it's like, I had a friend who was like, I watched a few episodes of Clarence, but I didn't, like, get into it. And I'm like, it's not a show you get into. It's not a fandom. It's just a show that you watch when you want to put a smile on your face.
It makes you feel better than some drugs.
I can't vouch for that, but I trust you, Tooch.
I mean, I can't either. I've only done the one. God.
Yeah. Yeah, so,
where should we start? Because I don't know where the heck we left off.
Yeah, let's start with Mystery Girl.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mystery Girl is like, you know, Clarence goes to so many weird places, it's hard to really identify, like, if you want to, like, get somebody into Clarence, to like, really understand what Clarence is doing, there are some episodes that you don't show them first. You don't show them balance.
No.
You don't show them, the one with the national treasure. You wouldn't even show them the one on the plane. This is one of the ones, like, this is almost like a spiritual successor in a lot of ways to a Pretty Great Day with a Girl.
Yes.
Of just, like, Clarence connecting on this fundamental human level with another person in such a simple way, like children do.
And they have child conversations. These aren't, like, children written to be smarter.
This isn't Charlie Brown
eloquent.
stuff.
It's not Charlie Brown or other shows that I like.
Yeah.
Where the children are way more eloquent than they should be. These are kid conversations with a kid level of focus on the topic. And it, like, brought me back to having those conversations. I was like, oh yeah, you literally just say stuff like, I like turtles too!
Yeah, so Clarence and the boys are doing prank phone calls, and Jeff acts like trying to be cool dad. Prank calls are the name of the game. And he prank calls this girl who's doing a prank receiver. Like, you've reached the alien base of Blaggity Blue. And then she and Clarence just start talking, and Jake and Sumo and Jeff are just like, we're gonna go, like, do a dance in the yard. And, so he's calling her, like, all day, every day.
Just talking
about whatever the fuck.
Yeah, like, this cartoon they really like, called The Ums, which is kind of like the Smurfs meets the Teletubbies.
Yeah, all those.
Some boobah shit.
So yeah, some boobah shit. But, like, listening to her talk about it, it's like, that's what a kid sounds like when they're talking about stuff that they like.
It's gonna be my teaser for this week, some boobah shit.
Yeah. The other girl's name was Bella, and she had to have been forced by a kid.
Yeah. I mean, I know that I know there are some real kids on the show, and she had to have been. I mean, everything about, like, the way she said things, and, like, I wonder how much was
She
scripted.
had that kind of, like, out-of-breath way that kids talk all the time, because they don't know what the fuck they're actually saying.
Yeah, and I honestly wonder how much was kind of scripted, like, how much they gave her to talk about. Obviously the ums, because that's not a real thing. But,
you never know with kids.
it's hard with kids. Like,
kids sometimes make shit completely the hell. It's like it's something they imagined, but they talk about it like it's a real thing. Like they're trying to tell you a story.
Yeah, and you're like, what? Where? Who? Huh?
And like I always have to check myself whenever I'm talking to kids, and they do that thing where they'll say something that everyone in the room knows isn't right, and I have to be like, I don't know if that's true because I'm me, and they'll be like, no, it's real, and I'm like, oh right, okay.
Yeah, you don't know if you want to play It's Real or not.
I have to force myself to play It's Real because I'm such a fucking idiot.
Also, you're like, also, maybe this will be the next Axe Cop.
Right? I'm taking notes.
And also, like, I love how the show sort of exists in, like, a not time. Like, it's modern, but not, but is, but isn't. Like, it exists in this sort of, like, idyllic kid zone where it's not, you know, a lot of TV and computers and stuff.
It's like if the early 90s never stopped.
Yeah, like, the idea of, like, talking on the phone with a person all day long, for one thing. And then also, like, syncing up watching a movie together, like, while on the phone.
I mean, I've done that on the internet.
Yeah. But
which is really what it reminded me of. Honestly, as weird and, like, you know, as old as all the technology they use is, like, this, the biggest thing that I got out of this was just, like, remembering, like, when I really first started heavily communicating with people over the internet, because, like, this was basically just, like, us. Yeah. This is just what I did when I was, like, 15, 16, and I'm sure people were a lot younger. I was late on the game. For a while, the internet to me was just where I went to look up game facts.
Yeah, I mean, this world definitely has the internet and technology. It just seems like a lot of the kids don't have access to it, or, I mean, Sumo and Clarence, Clarence has a computer, but it probably doesn't even have internet on it. I don't know. They don't use it.
But also that speaks to the universality of childhood, because a lot of people are so, like, fucking down on millennials because they don't know what it's like for kids, so they just assume that it's different and bad. But it's like, no, like, childhood, like, to a certain extent is more or less universal. It's, the mindset of children and how they see the world in general. It's all really good stuff no matter what area you're in.
It's, the whole up was just so sweet, and, like, the moment with, like, the mom being, like, listening in on the three-way call, be like, oh, it's so cute, oh, that's, like, such a mom thing, and like, that, just the last scene with them on the swings.
In the swings, they meet, and they're still doing the same stuff, they're just talking about whatever the hell, while just doing whatever.
And the way Clarence, like, breaks the ice, essentially, because at first she's, like, so fucking shy because she only knows how to do this over the phone. And, you know, I get, like, and again, like, I get that, like, the very first time you meet, like, somebody
like an internet friend.
Before, like, an internet friend in real life, you, like, there's always that fear of, like, what do we do now? But then, you know, the ice breaks, and you're like, oh, this is literally exactly the same, and there's no difference, and everybody who says internet friends aren't real are old and are gonna die soon, so they don't care.
Yeah, and, like, and it was so sad, because, like, she was so shy, she was almost gonna cry, and then Clarence, being the amazing little beautiful boy that he is...
This country doesn't deserve Clarence.
It really, like, he's such an amazing child, like, and he's so purely a child.
I'm glad he's not real. The bar's too high at that point. Throw your child in the dumpster.
And everything we've been saying kind of corresponds with some of the other episodes, like... 2 episodes, The Substitute and Classroom, take place all at school, and are kind of similar in a way where they're like, it's about being at school, and
finding the fun in it.
Like, and being a kid at school.
And how miserable it is to be a teacher. Like, you try so fucking hard. You're trying so hard. And it's an impossible job.
Yeah, and, you know, like, Miss Baker has the line about, like, you know, they say that this generation is harder to reach, and you have to work harder to, like, get them to pay attention. She's like, some days, everything's great, we're following each other, we're all interested. Other days, it's like we're speaking a different language, and nobody gives a shit. Which is true, that's what it's like with kids. I don't think that's specific to
also,
one
when your relationship's on the rocks.
Before we move on to those episodes, one last thing I want to say about Mystery Girl is that one of the storyboarders on it, Tiffany Ford, who I follow on social media, I feel like Bella may have been based off of her, at least physically. Because she's got, like, the big hair, and, you know, it's kind of small, and everything. I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled from their own childhoods. I imagine you have to pull from your own childhood a lot if you write for this show.
I mean, if somebody wanted, if I work on a cartoon, I'm gonna do my damnedest to find a legitimate way to put my fucking self in it.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's what I was gonna say with these other episodes, where it's like, being a storyboard artist, you're like, what are these kids doing when they're not paying attention? What are they doing with their hands while they're talking to their friends? Clarence is stacking a bunch of dry erase markers into a sword. Yes, of course that's what he's doing. Everyone has done that. It's fun to do.
Yeah, you try to do you try to do like a Darth Maul thing, but here's the thing, they're so flimsy, just the act of swinging it will break it.
Yeah.
You don't care, though.
Or, you know, reading putting your folder up, like your
Oh, yeah.
so no one can see you while you're reading or whatever, taking your test or whatever you're doing. You just want privacy, right?
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Playing Pokemon.
Playing Pokemon or whatever, playing video games in class, using your school supplies for what they're not for by making some gross shit.
The glue balls. Glue balls are fucking gross. I hate glue balls.
I never did that. That one was foreign to me. I was like, ew, what is that?
I never
you can do that? I mean, I definitely... Okay, I am remembering just like, whenever there would be too much glue on something and it would make like the gooey string, like the squishy... Like it was like when the glue dried, it still had some give. I remember that, but I didn't like do shit with it.
What I remember is like if you got it in your finger, like a little bit, and then you peel it, it's in the pattern of your fingerprint, and then you like wad that up.
Yeah,
that's what I know. I don't know, just like pouring it out and just like molding it like horrible horse clay.
I mean, but there was always kids doing something gross with like their pencil or their glue or whatever it was. Like, I don't know, they were very creative, Or like at lunchtime making strange concoctions.
Yeah, just like somebody really didn't want their, like, they changed their mind on their lunch, so they just spent the whole lunch period just like mushing it together into a horrible stew of mistakes, and then somebody would, I don't know if I just heard about it or it happened, but like I think one teacher just got so pissed at this kid that like they had to eat it.
Oh God!
Man.
Maybe that was an old wives' tale.
I don't know, but just like. Yeah, like, and every single kid in this classroom is doing something, like, has their own activity, has their own thing that they're doing, and their personalities are showing, including a lot of characters we don't always get to see, We got some characters who were given names, so we don't always get to be given names. And Miss Baker is just trying to teach them stuff with the bugs. And of course it goes horribly wrong. When the bird eats
Oh, that was so great though. That was so great though.
It was.
When she turned it into a teachable moment, and like honestly the thing that I took out of that was like, that's the major problem with the education system, is that obviously like kids do want to learn, and like, oh, she got to turn it into a teachable moment, and it's like, yeah, but like nobody's going to standardize test them on that bird fact. Like the things the education system like wants kids to know isn't shit that they necessarily like. There's no such thing as good or bad knowledge. All knowledge is knowledge, but that's hard to standardize.
I also realize while we've talked about this, I've been confusing events from classroom and substitute in my mind, but they're thematically they're like.
I smushed them both together. Absolutely,
I smushed them both together too, and like I love that substitute lady. Like, I love how they set it up. We're like, it's gonna be the evil substitute, like in all the other shows.
It's gonna be the Hey Arnold guy.
Like, no, it's just a person.
It's like somebody who's like 21.
It's a terrified person. I felt so bad, and I'm glad I didn't keep majoring in education.
She's so cute, and it's
yeah. Speaking of putting yourself as a storyboarder, putting yourself in the story, this episode was boarded by Stu Livingston and Mark Galez. Stu and Mark were the name of the cicadas.
Oh.
I love Clarence was like, Mark and Stu are gonna be born, but Miss Baker isn't even gonna see her babies being born. Like,
I like the girl that goes.
Yeah, I love the Charlie Brown kid who was trying to pee.
Yeah, that was classroom, but yeah, and then the duck girl next to her reading the trashy romance novel, but it was for kids still.
Yeah, with her Lisa Frank folder.
God.
Oh, that girl is named Coco, possibly due to resemblance to the Foster's character?
Probably not. But like, even like the moment where like Miss Baker takes the lid, or asks the kid to take the lid off of the terrarium, and everybody's like, wow! Like, I do remember that feeling in school sometimes, where like, the stars align for just that perfect moment where the teacher actually gets through to you with something, and you're like, the world is cool! For just a second. And then, the bird coming in was perfect and beautiful, and
And then everybody else she didn't reach, who was a little butthole kid, they were reached. Like, awesome!
Yeah,
Fuck him up!
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah!
One of my favorite moments in these episodes was Percy sitting on the desk and the girls are around him, and he's like, "So, Percy, do you have a girlfriend?" "No!"
I love Percy. I like that. But I like that. That the only two kids on the board for being bad are Sumo and Belson.
Yeah. I just remember them like putting the sandwich on his tummy, Tom.
And a bit with the P's like, Clarence, we're spreading it, Clarence.
Oh man.
Clarence being hilarious and then being like, Sumo's like, "That's not funny." Clarence is like, "Yes, it is."
Yeah.
That was so funny.
And Sumo breaks his laughter.
Yeah.
And then it just builds up and explodes.
And then the pee, and then Clarence is just like stepping and spreading the pee. And then the the tests fall on the pee, and it's just like...
And the fat teacher principal guy, like, trying to fix the thing.
Fix the copy machine.
His first step is to rip out all the shelves.
Oh my god. And then Miss Baker is just like, "That's just show and tell."
Yeah, because that whole time Jeff trying to come up with convoluted ways to get out of taking the test because he didn't study for it, and all I could think was like, you could have probably crammed enough to pass in the time all this would have taken you. Like, I'm amazed that wasn't your first instinct, Jeffrey. That's what I would have done, and I was a horrible student.
He's a very anxious kid. I mean, that's often the thing, is that you go into such lengths to create a system where you don't have to do the work, that it takes more work creating the system than if you had just fucking done it.
Yeah.
And I just love how it was a microcosm of all these different kinds of kids in the same room having vastly different experiences.
In a way, it was almost like an anthology.
Yeah, definitely.
And it all came together at the end.
Yeah. I love this show.
It's a good show. It's one of the best shows that's on Cartoon Network and will be on Cartoon Network for a while. Like, it's gonna go down in my personal history, but like a small part of me is just like, man, like everyone's like, I feel like in like a number of years down the road, when everybody's looking back on this era as nostalgic, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh man, did anyone else know that this show was good?" And I'm gonna be this old man like, "I fucking told you, kids."
It's gotta be like Hey Arnold. Nobody at the time thought Hey Arnold was what Nickelodeon was doing.
It really is.
They were, as a kid, I liked Hey Arnold, but I was more into the stuff that was more kooky, like, Angry Beavers. The stuff that was more kinetic.
Yeah, like as a kid.
I think it wasn't so much that, like, we liked Hey Arnold less, but, like, we just didn't get, like, we liked it, but we didn't get it, and, like, we couldn't fully conceive why we liked it.
Yeah. And it wasn't, like, as exciting as other shows.
No.
It was like,
it was it was just that scary ghost train man, that's it.
Yeah.
Which scared the shit out of me.
He was pretty bad.
He was scared, but that was, like, 3 days of nightmares.
Yeah, that was a bad time in my life of fear. Anyway, let's talk about Adventure Time.
Adventure Time is also really good. Like, we have, if you listen to our last year's worth of episodes, we were not super feeling season 6.
We were burned out.
I think we can all agree that it was still good television, and they did some really good episodes and some really good story stuff, but it was easily the heaviest season and the least fun season.
Yeah.
Like, that's part of why episodes like Jake the Brick stood out so much, because it's just an episode where it's just a kind of a cool thing that happens, and nobody has to be sad or miserable.
Yeah. And this season is just...
This season, they're much further back in the swing of, like, that balance between cool narrative stuff and also just being a fun kid show, like what they were hitting in season 4.
They're bringing the yucks.
Yeah, because it's funny. I'm laughing.
Yes. The Bun Bun. Bun Bun is an episode with some very important character moments, and an episode that actually does update the status quo, but it's mostly about this little kid fucking around.
And being the cutest.
Did you catch who she was played by, Tooch?
I don't think so. Remind me.
Ashley Birch.
Ah, shit!
Ashley Birch, writer for the show, and previously voiced, Breezy, and actually she was also Cheryl, the mascot for Super Porp. She's done a couple of other minor voices, but this is the most she's ever voiced anybody since Cheryl or Breezy.
And Bun Bun is just delightful. And, like, it's cool to have Cinnamon Bun, see how much he's grown. I love the flashback to, like, the first episode or whatever it was, where he was gonna do the flip, and then seeing Bun Bun do the flip and totally rock it.
Yeah!
I think that was from the Enchiridion.
Yeah, and just Bun Bun being, like, such a pleasant person, you know? And it's like...
My favorite jokes were everyone's confusion about what exactly their from the jump base of knowledge is. It's like, how do you know what that is, but not that word? What?
Yeah, and then there was some incredibly, like, important moments between Flame Princess and Finn. Like, they finally reconciled and cleared the air, and they're cool now. Like, Finn's been through some shit.
Finn's grown a lot. This is the first time they've really talked since Wind and Water, or whatever it was.
Water?
Earth and Water? He was Fire and Ice, and then Earth and Water was the one where we saw Baby Flame Princess.
Yeah.
Like, the Flame King has now created his own... He's become the Chipmunk King in some cape. He's like, you know what? I don't want to be Flame King anymore.
Nobody wants, everyone's happy with the way Fire Kingdom is, and it's gonna be so much work anyway, and like...
I don't got any friends there. I have no allies. It's gonna be some shit.
And so Bon Bon's just like, that's pet dogs!
I'll be the royal dog petter as she's petting a chipmunk, which may have actually been a squirrel.
I don't know.
I think it was a squirrel.
You didn't have a tail? A long tail?
I forget.
Oh, hail the Chipmunk King! Oh, hail the Chipmunk King!
Yeah, there was a lot of growth in this episode.
Yeah.
And like, even if PB's like, I'm worried about the dude.
Yeah.
Because he was always my worst citizen, but I gotta take care of him.
Yeah, and she's like, let's catch up, and she's grown a lot, and she approached the situation very maturely. The creation she made wasn't totally out of bounds or out of reason. It was just happy. It was like a lot of things were getting resolved, and we got a new character out of it who's delightful, and it's like, yeah, that's great.
And we got Flame Princess who can canonically freestyle.
Yeah. Not the best freestyling I've heard, but better than mine.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's the thing. As long as you can do it, like, you're already better than most people.
It's hard.
It's so hard.
Yeah. And then we had, Normal Man.
He's a real normal man.
Wow.
Sitting... Nina's not going for it.
No.
With soft and tiny normal hands, and plus, he is also me.
Okay.
So Magic Man, we revisit Magic Man, who's now insists that he's called Normal Man, which is not a thing you can be called. Sorry, homie.
I mean, he's like, what do normal people do?
He's like, it's smoothies or something?
Smoothies?
This is a Moynihan Alden episode, as I think basically all Magic Man stuff is. So really, again, this moves a lot of character plots forward, while just being really funny. Like, man, I threw all those guys under the bus. You mean like when you turned everybody bald? Beat, and then in flashback they were running over everybody with the bus in a circle.
God, it's
four more laps
this show is so funny again.
I know, and it's like the tiny Manticore like, come and get spanked. Like,
yeah,
I love
and
the
this is
Manticore.
this is the Tom Kenny episode of the show, because he played Normal Man, Grob, and Manticore. Glob. Grob is the difference.
Why do you sound so insincere? That's just my voice.
That's just my voice.
That's just my voice.
Oh man, I do love the way he talks.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So Magic Man returns to Mars. He tries to save Glob and the other three, but Glob decides, I'm going to stay in orbit. I'm done. I'm retired.
And they got to reconcile a little bit, and Magic Man was a real shit cake. Like, there's so many choice jokes, but one of the better ones was like, when he's waiting outside the treehouse trying to get Finn and Jake's help.
Yes. He's like, oh, hey guys! Tonk!
fucking collapses.
Oh man, is he okay? Yeah, he's magic. Not anymore, dude. Remember? Oh yeah. Oh shit, is he dead? And the fly lands on him. Oh, and he slaps away. Oh, okay, good. He was about to throw a knife at, and Finn had a crossbow ready to go.
And because Finn and Jake weren't the focus, they could just be funny, like hilarious dude bros.
They brought the squirrel back again.
The squirrel came back.
Oh, I love it.
The bit with the plane.
Oh my god! No planes! Never planes! I'm gonna rescue the dude!
It just looks so dumpy and like gross and like
It's so poorly thought out. Oh my god, I've been calling boomerangs the wrong thing my whole life. It was a nonstop funny episode.
it was so funny.
You'll have to face my boomerang and my flamethrower.
Yeah.
The fact that the dragon ghost is the least ineffectual thing. Like, they've really got back into, like, they must have just been having a funky year.
I guess. 'Cause it's funny, but they're getting shit done. Like, they're resolving shit, they're moving characters forward, they're cleaning up things. And in the spirit of cleaning things up, the next episode, Elemental, is establishing something new. Now that a lot of problems are sort of resolved, and there's been a lot of resolutions lately, they sort of had to introduce some kind of conflict or whatever, because Lord knows the show's not ending anytime soon. So the conflict is in the form of this lady named Patience.
Patience St. Pym, the ice elemental, a reincarnation of, Urgence Evergreen. Oh shit! Evergreen's first name was Urgence.
Huh.
And her name is Patience.
Urgence and
Wow.
Patience. Huh. Shits. Wow. Okay.
You know, they both wanted to survive Cataclysm. Like, the thing is that Ice King is not the new ice elemental. I had to run this through Nina again to help understand. I'm trying to put you on blast, but, you know, he doesn't get his powers by inheriting the spirit of the elemental, which we now know is like a reincarnation thing. It's like all 4 avatars are there at once or some shit.
Yeah. It's like...
It was from the Crown, which was some shit. Patience St. Pym is voiced by Lauren Lapkus, who, if you watch Orange is the New Black, she's the female, prison guard, the one with the nose.
You know, the one with the nose.
You know. Did you ever watch that show?
Orange is the New Black. I watched the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, me too. She was in it. You would have seen her. I didn't watch season 3 either.
She makes an amazing entrance.
Yeah.
Like, she's squatting constantly, doing like the cool guy thing. Like, she was already killing it, and then they just had to like fucking like top it by having her do like the fucking backwards chair.
Oh my god.
Fushigi guy thing. She's basically Fushigi guy.
Oh no! How dare you?
Man. I mean, man, oh man.
Yes. So yeah, she's established as a new villain because she wants to rule the school. We learned that according to her, and the title card, that's Slime Princess, Princess Bubblegum, and Flame Princess are themselves the reincarnations of the elementals. Because in this universe, the elementals are fire, ice, slime, and candy.
Long ago, the world was ruled by the 4 elements.
Oh, shoot. New Adventure Time AU, New Adventure Time Avatar Mashup AU, but these are the elements now, and it's even better.
Candy bending?
Candy bending.
Just, like,
fucking slime.
She's just shooting jelly beans out of her hands. And they're like, what? Okay.
Yeah, so she's definitely coming back.
Cause she was fucking pissed. Like, cause in the past, normal times or whatever, she was like, magic wasn't a thing back then, bro, so we had to be clandestine. And like, they would meet up and she was like, man, the world's gonna come to an end. We should like, preserve ourselves. And they're like, why? We're just gonna get reincarnated. And she's like, nah, man, nah.
I want to be the one.
Me! It's gotta be me! So she froze herself.
Remember when Jake was a trash can and he farted? That's brutal.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man.
According to the trivia on the wiki, it said that one of the fire elemental descendants resembled Uncle Iroh.
Maybe.
She'll have to see again.
We'll have to see. I mean, the wiki's not always the most reliable thing. Yeah, and then she gathers them together. She's like, "Yeah, come on! Like, look, I actually don't know what she was trying to do.
She's just trying to be king shit of fuck mountain.
Yeah, I guess just become. Yeah, and the other girls are like, "Nah, man, we have our own lives and shit, and like, we're pretty cool. Like, we're rulers of our own kingdoms and whatever." And then she's like, "Man, you guys are lame. You were lame then, and you're lame now."
I love her.
And so she, like, poofs away and is like, "You'll all see."
Oh, I swear by all that is corn. So we'll see some more of her. Looking forward to it. She's a lot of fun. I bet she's a lot of fun to animate.
Oh my god. Storyboarding her must be a dream.
And then the episode that aired tonight, the night we're recording this, May 26th, is 5 Short Tables, the 4th Fiona and Cake episode, which does some really interesting stuff.
It's probably the best one because it just kind of gives you a complete portrait of this world.
This is what we were saying. This is what we were saying about what we want Fiona and Cake to do. To just be some goof-em-ups for once. This was it.
Yay!
It's pretty good goof-em-ups.
And we got to see a lot of different characters.
We got the first speaking roles of Flame Prince and Turtle Prince. Flame Prince, did you catch who that was, Tooch?
I didn't, I wondered.
Hannibal Buress.
Whoa! That's dope!
I just caught up in Broad City, so I'm very familiar with the guy's name, voice. Turtle Prince, I think, was still Steve Little.
Yeah, probably.
I want to know who voiced Butterscotch Butler, because that character was amazing.
Oh yeah, I love Butterscotch Butler.
Oh my god.
So this works like a Greyballs episode, but shitty because the Ice King does it.
Yeah.
Where the theme is just tables. There's a breakfast table, table of elements.
Was this another one where there was a real theme?
I don't know yet.
Maybe, yeah.
Can we do a twofer where we guess it on the fly?
Okay.
Okay, so the first, it starts off...
Here's the thing is it might be like a totally brutal thing where there isn't one now, but they've got us thinking there might be.
I don't know.
Well, the first segment is Fiona and Cake making flapjacks, and Cake wants to make some, like...
Get it? Because Rod Ryan was on flapjacks? Pirate show boy? Whale? Bubby?
Oh,
I
yeah.
think she was Bubby.
Yeah.
I was waiting for a deeper cut reference than that, but I don't think one ever came.
So they're making flapjacks, and she wants to make people flapjacks, and they're like, okay, let's go look at some people. Let's go check out Gumball. When we see Gumball being a freak. This Fiona and Cake seems to be set a little in the past, I guess, congruous to what's going on with, like, our Finn and Jake, kind of.
Universe Prime,
Whatever. Because, like, Gumball's still kind of a fucking crazy person. And Fiona still only has a crush on Flame Prince or whatever. I don't know. Whatever. Gumball's hilarious. And it's like, at first it's like, that doesn't seem like what Bubblegum would do. It's like, no, that's exactly what Bubblegum would do.
Yeah.
And I just love the montage of, like, his dreams, his fears, his regrets, his...
Yeah, first of all, one of his regret is Marshall Lee, so, like, they're gay.
Yeah.
The dreams, I think that was a reference to that painting, The Nightmare, where the goblin's sitting on the woman's chest and that horse is peeking into the curtain like, hey, what's fucking going on in here?
And
what an awful, amazing painting that I want.
That painting fucking kicks ass.
And obviously, like, he's scared of mortality, which is the same for PB. She's scared of dying. And a lot of her regrets do involve Marceline. But yeah, it was just funny and rad.
What was the full thing? It was Butterscotch Butler, the Butterscotch Scotch Butler, Scotch Butter, is like...
Scotchman?
It was nested. It was good.
Yeah, it was amazing. I don't know.
She doesn't have a page on Wiki yet, so I don't know who voiced her. And I was watching it on live TV, so I couldn't pause it during the credits.
So that happens, and then Fiona and Cake are like, no. So then they move on to the library, making flapjacks in the library, and then we have the segment with Turtle Prince and Flame Prince. Flame Prince is like a real dude bro kind of guy. Accidentally catching everything on fire, and Turtle Prince is delightful. And then we have a bit with Marshall Lee and Lumpy Space Prince, which is also delightful. It's basically
Michael Dean!
Marshall just plays this elaborate ruse to get Lumpy's Space Prince to take his medicine, but with like the sweet like rad sound of like Donald Glover's voice. It's like it's cool.
And then to like at the very end. Well, no, it's after
We see Ice Queen.
Yeah, Ice Queen's back.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. Okay, this is where it got bananas. Is that Ice Queen was reading her fan fiction of Flynn and Jacques with Ice President, and in that, Ice President was reading his own fanfic, which I didn't catch.
No,
Yeah.
I was too busy fucking mentally reeling at that point to even comprehend what he was saying.
Yeah, they dove in 2 more layers deep. It's like that one.
Was the difference that they? I mean, I know he was president, but were the difference there just because of the imagery going on? Was that like was it some weird like British thing or steampunk thing? Or,
yeah, it looked like some kind of Victorian
or like
thing.
colonial. Yeah, Flynn looked like a fancy boy.
Yeah. And then I love the exchange between Ice Queen and Fiona when they're fighting. It's like very like non-threatening or anything, but they're fighting each other.
Yeah, because
I actually really did enjoy it.
I was hoping for something more along the lines of what Finn and Simon's relationship is now. Like I'm waiting for that to happen.
Well, Fiona called her Ice Queen, which Finn doesn't call him Ice King anymore.
So I think
it's okay, maybe they're getting there.
Yeah, I think because like you were saying earlier that like the Fiona and Cake is always a little bit behind on where they are now. I guess because one episode comes out every season, so they're constantly playing catch up.
Yeah.
Which I think that's better. Set it at your own pace. Don't rush things because then.
And hell, I'll be happy to skip over Fiona's teenage shit.
Oh yeah, God, please just skip over that and just go straight to them already being broken up and cool.
Apparently, Ice Queen was formerly a water nymph.
Huh?
Oh yeah, I remember that now. Didn't she give her own? Somebody gave a different Ice Queen backstory than what Simon's is.
I think it was Allegri. I don't know. Did she do 2 Fiona and Cake comic series?
I forget. Well, the comics aren't canon.
The comics aren't the same. Anyway,
no, I feel like with Fiona and Cake they could because it's all Allegri. Although,
whatever.
But it doesn't have to be. Like if they want to do something different, they will.
Exactly. Yeah. So and Ice King finishes his story, which the whole point of why it was like that was basically because Gunter had like went through all the pages and he like taped them back together and he was like, "Cool, like, what are we gonna get?" He does the whole fucking like, "What's the thing? It's all about tables."
It was on a table, the periodic tables, and the other table, and I think Ice Queen did some with tables too, probably. I don't know.
And then it comes to Emo Phillips.
He's been watching the whole thing, and he looks like shit.
Yeah, and I was like, the last time we saw him, he was like running away from shit and like going across like what seemed like future Earth that was like kind of empty and abandoned or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows what's up with him?
Just I was still in a home movies mindset with him, so that whole thing with him turning off the TV, I just all I heard in my head was like.
So yeah.
Yeah, like I'm still not a fan. Like we've said this before, I still think the fact that Fiona Cake is couched as fan fiction limits its ability to grow. But I did like that we got to see this kind of side of it, where it didn't have to all be about kissing. And we're not going to talk about the whole thing, but there's also a new Powerpuff Girls, and like we're not going to keep covering that regularly unless it kind of improves, because we've talked about it a lot. The thing is that even on the show's own merits, it's simply not that great. It lacks focus, and Tooch pointed out to me like it's got a lot of animation errors.
Yeah.
But there
was a pretty amazing moment in this newest episode that just aired today.
You had the full context, so you explain it, Nina.
Well, I barely had the full context.
We watched the whole episode.
Yeah, well, I was like still setting up my TV and shit while I was turning on, but like some fairy tale princess falls through a magic well and gets transported to Townsville, and she lands in Buttercup's arms while they're flying and immediately kisses her straight on the lips. And if they hold it for like a full like like 30 seconds or something.
The Powerpuff Girls 2016 beat Adventure Time to a girl-on-girl full-on lip kiss. That's bananas.
That's hysterical.
Like,
Yeah.
it was a kiss, like, it was lippies, it was puckered and smoochy and...
Yeah, it was a more full-on kiss than even that, the Ruby Sapphire one.
Yeah, totally. It was a full-on kiss.
Yeah.
Well,
They
then.
smooched.
And, like, Nikki was just, like, coming up...
I just got home from work, and I'm like... I look at this and I'm like, what the fuck? This show?
Hysterical!
Oh my god.
I'm picturing you doing that, and it's the best. I'm sad I wasn't there to see it.
It was pretty great, honestly. Like, I probably wouldn't... It wouldn't have even registered for me, I think, if Nikki wasn't there.
Yeah, because, first of all, obviously it was Buttercup. But, yeah, like, it's crazy that the show did that. And, like, the thing about, Powerpuff Girls 2016 is that, like, I think it has the opportunity to kind of tie it together. Like, Teen Titans Go found its footing after a few seasons. It always knew what it was doing, but it got better. Or like, you look at Sailor Moon Crystal, that all of a sudden 3 seasons in is now fantastic.
Oh, it's so good!
It's the best.
It's not out of the
Probably
realm.
because my bae is in it. Sailor Saturn. She's the best. She's my
Yeah.
Yeah, you say that your main thing is Chibiusa and Sailor Saturn, and that Neptune and Uranus is for basics.
I mean, I wouldn't say they're for basics, but they don't really do anything for me because Uranus is too masculine for me.
For your personal taste.
For my personal
to make everything clear.
For my personal tastes of like what makes me be like, oh, yay, it's like me. It's like, oh no. And partly Sailor Uranus is both a man and a woman. It's not really. It's not lesbians. It's like.
It's.
Well, it's a
type
not
of
straight.
It's a type of queer that doesn't have a one-word definition.
Yeah, which I
That's
think
my favorite
is way
kind.
It's way more interesting. I wish I had known that. I mean, I'm glad to have learned that finally from the series.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah. So the point is, it's not without the outside of the realm possibility that PPG 2016 could get good. But the main thing about the show is that it was not made really out of any kind of creative passion. It was made because the studio wanted to make another Powerpuff Girls. Mm-hmm. So they just made it without really having that kind of creative vision behind it. And it shows. And it's not to say that the show is entirely bad. I think with what I've seen of it, it definitely has its moments. It also definitely has its problems.
Oh, it definitely has its very bad moments as well.
Yeah.
That's it for recaps.
Yeah, we gotta get to stouts. This is a long episode and we didn't fuck up that much.
Yeah, I know. We're good girls and boys. Oh man, bro. I gotta get on top of shit. Like, this is my first week back from school. This is kind of like my vacation week. I'm gonna, like, as soon as the week is over, I'm gonna write, like, a schedule for my day and, like, get on top of shit so I'll be better about responding to people's feedback and emails and stuff, and working more on making Toon Goons bigger and better. But for now, oh jeez, what do I say? I mean, I want to thank everybody so much for all of your wonderful well wishes for my graduation and all the kind words and, like, encouragement. Like, you guys were so supportive, and I'm really glad that you didn't mind me stepping out for 2 weeks, because I know it's a long time for the internet. Everybody's great. Thank you. Like, some people drew little pictures of me. Nikki commissioned Lantern King to draw
a picture of you destroying a school.
Of me destroying my...
kicking it cleanly in half.
Yeah. But somebody on my personal, message, tag my personal Twitter and, like, drew a picture of me. I can't remember them.
I thought I saw that.
I think, did we retweet it on the Toon Goons Twitter?
No.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I faved it on my personal. I'll give me just a moment. I'll look them up.
Cool. Yeah. So, you guys are the best, and I love you, and thank you for being great and wonderful. And there's been so much feedback lately from all kinds of things. We've had a lot of exciting things happen. We've been reached out by, like, different, like, actual professional people, so we have some fun things hopefully coming down the pipeline. is there any particular shout out that like stood out to you guys?
Oh, shit! You put me on the spot. I'm unprepared.
Shout out to Jorge Gutierrez for being just the raddest out of like no one else professional duder has supported us more than you. Like, you're the best.
Yeah. Thanks from our mom.
Yeah.
Jimmy Ellis on Gmail mentioned he thought he was alone in his love of Brad Neely. He wanted to. This is a line I forgot. I wanted to bring up that my personal favorite term that we learned through Baby Cakes, which is when his grandfather calls his dad a nothing master. It is my go-to insult for shitheads.
Oh yeah, our buddy Charlie.
Yes.
Gave us a cool rundown of he's back home from his tour.
Tour of duty. Let's
duty.
Make it clear.
And he's been hanging out, helping his mom at her preschool, and like helping to babysit cousins and neighbor kids. So he's been spending a lot of time with kids lately, and he's been asking about how they feel about this media and stuff.
We got a man on the inside.
Yeah, this is our
He's behind enemy lines.
Our second report from the inside of kids' brains. Kids really love Steven Universe and Adventure Time. Jake and Amethyst are favorites. Of course, they're hilarious.
Top tier, that's pretty great. I love it. I dig it. Good taste.
Also Gumball's popular, Teen Titans Go, Star Wars Rebels, Phineas and Ferbs, and some of the older kids really like Gravity Falls. He says the older kids seem to know there's some deeper meaning they're not getting in it, but they've held their interests with like the funny stuff and actiony things.
Uh-huh.
They said when they asked about Ruby and Sapphire, the kids said they really love them in their relationship, and they really love Ruby because she's so funny and great. So like,
they're gonna love the upcoming episode.
Like, kids will like. It doesn't matter if you make a character that's fun and funny. Kids will like them no matter what they are.
Just make them burp and do an ollie. You got it.
Obviously, Cartoon Network is way more popular than Disney, than Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
of course. Duh. Movie favorites, they do seem to really like Minions. And I'll give that to them. I mean, Minions is not the worst thing that's ever happened to us.
The Minions...
Their marketing team is.
Yes, I was gonna say, the marketing of Minions was atrocious. Like, I've only seen Despicable Me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like pretty okay. And like the villain lady in it is actually like pretty dope.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, they're fun, they're cute, whatever. The SpongeBob movies seem to be popular, which, I don't know, I mean, SpongeBob is SpongeBob.
SpongeBob at this point is Simpsons for kids.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'll let it. They also like Zootopia, Good Dinosaur, Inside Out, and they don't like Chipmunks. They don't like the Chipmunks movie, thankfully.
Thank God!
I know. Apparently Inside Out seemed to go a little bit over kids' heads, though they liked Fear and Joy, they thought they were funny.
Yeah, they'll get it during puberty. They'll be like, "Oh fuck!"
Exactly.
They warned me, and I didn't listen.
Apparently, Good Dinosaur was favorite for boys because boys are trained to like dinosaurs, and Zootopia was split. Older kids said they really liked Zootopia, but they didn't like love it because they said it was kind of sad, and they sort of got the message, but maybe not all the way. But Judy is like everyone loves Judy. I love Judy. There's also some love for the film Home, which we haven't talked about on the show, and The Loud House, which is a new program on Nick, and some Sanjay and Craig as well.
Good.
So there you go.
Yeah, we're always interested to hear this kind of stuff.
Thank you. If you
spy on children for us.
Yes, if you spend a lot of time with children or a child, and they watch cartoons sometimes, or that's part of their daily or weekly regimen of life living.
If you're a parent?
If you're a parent?
Oh, right, that's what those are.
Like, talk to your kid about the shows they watch and why they like them. We'd like to know. And if you are their parent, you should like to know that too, I would think.
Yeah, don't be a narc about it.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much, Charlie. You're a boy. Glad you're home safe and having a relaxing time.
Charlie
Comparatively.
Laura had a really interesting email talking about how our Wandering Sun episode really resonated with her, and what we said about how, like, you often see, groups of, sexual and gender minorities, queer people, like, kind of clumping together as sort of it's kind of a chain reaction thing. Not that, like, exposure causes you to be queer or whatever, but it's that you are more open to considering it within yourself.
Yeah.
And how that very much applies to her group of friends. She also brought up an interesting topic that I want to bring up. It's like, she was talking about, like, atypical types of things we could do. Ever since you brought up the idea of doing something like the Gorillas, I've been thinking it would be cool to see you do more atypical stuff besides full motion pictures or series. Shorts would be an interesting one, though obviously you need a grouped shorts connected thematically. Perhaps all the Pixar shorts. I'd also maybe suggest doing video game cinematics. And then she mentions Overwatch and Team Fortress 2. One thing about both is that they do have all this story that is being told through these internet videos. And they are building a world, and they have, high production values and everything. And in the case of the TF2 ones, they can be pretty funny. What has always bothered me about that is that they put all that work into that stuff, and it doesn't come into play in the game whatsoever. The games are multiplayer only with no narrative, even no ability to construct a narrative in there, especially in these games where all the characters are unique characters, but you can have, like, clones of them, and there's no allegiances. It's something that's always kind of not set well with me, but I do think it's interesting, an interesting medium, and I would like to see it played out in something where there is more of a synergy between the games and the supplemental materials.
Yeah.
The thing is that most of the time, if there is a synergy, the game will just have that in the game. It'd be interesting to see if anybody does manage to pull this off in a way that works.
Okay, of course, we've got a lot of recommendations and stuff. A lot of people sharing love and opinions and suggestions, and we do read them all. We promise.
Do you think we could answer this one quickly or no?
That's the one I was like, I don't think I could. I think
I think I can maybe do it briefly. Atop the Hill on Tumblr said, "Why do you guys hate Lasseter so much? Are there any articles of records of him sabotaging Lilo and Stitch? I want to know your guys' perspective." It's not that we actively hate him, because he's done a lot for this industry.
Yeah, I don't hate him.
He's important.
He's important. He's done a lot of stuff, and he's made a lot of good stuff. He's just a total schmuck.
Yeah, he's a little. Yeah, I mean, he's like your kind of shitty dad. Like, you love him, but he's kind of shitty.
Yeah, like he's also just fundamentally very mockable.
Yeah, it's also really fun to make fun of him too.
And easy. But
yeah, incredibly so, because he's like on top of everything, and it's like
the Lilo and Stitch thing. We're gonna do that next month. We'll get back. We'll do that more in our episode.
Definitely, we'll do our research.
That episode will be coming out on June 26th.
Get it?
Stitch Day.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we don't hate him. We're just like,
yeah.
He's,
I mean, we don't love the guy either.
I don't love him. I'm just like, oh, Lasseter-san. You freaking weeb, you. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some other, recommendations stuff. Everything's going on the pile.
Yeah, I'm gonna start responding to this shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we can't talk about. We're gonna respond to.
My only problem with responding for some things is they address all three of us, and I can only speak for myself.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, so
we can like copy paste something in Skype and send it over.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. That's part of my mission. Now that I'm done with school, Toon Goons is gonna get a lot more of my attention, and I'm gonna work on that Patreon and shit. Well, of course, you guys will be updated first and foremost. But yeah, I'm excited to make more episodes.
Expansion.
All right. For next week, we are trying something that we just got submitted this past week or so by Cody the Trickster on Tumblr. A show called Mission Hill, which Tooch knows and Nina and I don't, and he really likes it, so that's what we're gonna do.
It's gonna be a fun time.
Yep.
Yay!
And we will have a Full schedule for this month and hopefully this summer coming up very soon, and we'll make a post for that once it's solidified.
Yeah.
With the understanding, of course, that it could be malleable.
Yeah, of course.
Always.
But again, because Nina's out of school, we will be able to plan stuff more solidly.
Yay!
If you'd like to contact us, it's been a while since I've done any of this, so I'm going to do the whole thing. We're already running along anyway, so why not? Our main website is our Tumblr, thetoongoons.tumblr.com. We post all our shows there, as well as updates in text form, like if there's going to be a late episode or something, which hopefully shouldn't happen, but like the schedule thing, that's going to be there. Nina also reblogs and curates a bunch of cool posts about animation, like the cool concept art for the Nom Nom's Posse episode I just saw. She's scrolling by. That shit was great. We're also on Twitter, at the Toon Goons, where, again, we'll post the episode. Tooch will post a sneak peek at the upcoming episode. We'll do some other stuff. There's a poll I want to run on there soon. You'll see it when you see it. And if you want to contact us, long form, the best way to do it is our email, thetoongoons@gmail.com. We also have a YouTube where we upload all of the episodes in 3 parts, so you could easily jump to the part that you want to get to. That's the Toon Goons podcast. And Tooch also compiles the Toon Goofs, which are cutting room floor stuff where we just went too off topic even for us, and they're hilarious. Because I said that as if I wasn't responsible. Like that was so.
Well, I mean, anyway. It is interesting because, like, we forget a lot of them, so they're fresh to us.
Yeah, they feel very fresh. They're like, ha ha ha.
Nina runs the Facebook page. I don't know how to search for that. We're also on iTunes. Everybody tells you this, but if you could leave a review, rate, a subscription, it really does help us gain visibility and helps more people see us. We've got a fan-run Reddit and Wiki, which are always in need of more people contributing. And is that it? Is that all the media that exists?
Yeah, basically.
I think so.
Our personal Twitters are at Nikki the Rat, at Ninny and Itchy, and is it at _ Mike Tooch?
Let me do that right now. It is, Mike _ Tooch, yes.
Mike _ Tooch. And that's everything.
Yep.
I've been Nikki.
I've been Nina.
I continue to be Tooch.
And thank you for tuning in.